Hi, my name is Hannah Polakoff. I am a Clover Foundation board member and the chair of the sponsorship program. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about how I became involved in Clover, my time as a volunteer at the Clover School in Kampala, Uganda, and about the sponsorship program. So I became involved in Clover when I heard about it through April Stone, who I had a chance meeting with at a dog park. We were walking our dogs, and she was telling me about the Clover Foundation and the work they do. And at the time, I was looking for a volunteer opportunity, and I really loved the things that she was telling me about Clover. I think what really drew me in were a few things. I think first that Clover focuses on the child and the impact that early education can have, not just on that child, but on an entire family, and in the case of Clover, on the entire community. I loved that Clover was founded by Ugandans, is run by Ugandans, that the priorities of the organization are set by the board in Uganda, and the board here in the U.S. Is here to support their priorities. Clover truly is an organization that was started by and run by the community that it serves, and that was really important to me. It was really only a few months after my initial meeting with April that I was on a plane to Uganda. And that was in January of 2014, and I was traveling with one other volunteer. We were the first volunteers that Clover had. I did a lot of different types of work while I was there. As they said, I wore many hats. I was in the classroom with the teachers, supporting them in their work in the classroom. I was working with Zara, who was in charge of the tablet program that we had just launched that January. And I was working really closely with the director of the school, Esther Makumbi, to help reach out and form partnerships with other organizations. I really was able to get to know all 40 of the children that we serve at the Clover School. And today, to me, that's still really special. And it still makes me smile thinking about them. I can picture each of their faces. I think one of the most special days was toward the end of my time in Busega. I had been speaking with the teachers over the last few months that I have been there about how to keep the parents involved in their children's education, how to make sure that they were part of it, and it wasn't something that they saw as Clover doing separately from them, but it was a team effort. And that was also a really big priority of the board in Uganda as well, that the parents of the children attending our school be given every opportunity and encouraged to be a big player in their child's education. Around that same time, we were discussing how to include the parents more at the school. We learned that a group of dentists from the University of Connecticut were going to be coming to a site to give free dental exams to a community about 30 or 40 miles outside of Busega, the community that the Clover School is in. And it was really, the challenge of that was that the only day that they could see us was also the day of our director's wedding. But we really felt like this was an opportunity that we couldn't turn down, and we were just going to make it work. And the way we were going to make it work was by asking the parents of the children to volunteer and be chaperones. But we weren't sure how many parents are going to be able to do that. To put it in perspective, most of the parents of the children we serve work day to day to put food on their table, and their work, a lot of their work is selling things, selling crafts or vegetables or fruit at the market. And to miss a day of that, they weren't going to get a sick day. This was their own business. If they didn't sell that day, they wouldn't make money that day. So we really weren't sure how many parents were going to be able to do this. I had gone around the community one day doing home visits with one of the teachers, and we had asked the parents if they were interested in this kind of trip, if they would be able to help prepare a meal and chaperone the kids on the bus and at the trip. And we had gotten, I thought, positive responses, but we hadn't really had very many people guarantee that they were going to come, so it was still a surprise. The morning of the trip arrived, and the kids started arriving, and the parents started arriving, and I was really nervous. Of course, Esther is inside with her bridal party inside her home, getting ready for her wedding, and I'm running around trying to help prepare the meal, and we had a fiasco with the bus we weren't sure if it was going to show up. And we're finally getting ready to go and getting everybody on the bus. And I turned to Millie, one of our teachers, and asked, so how many chaperones showed up? How many people are coming with us on the trip? And she told me that they had 12 parents who had come and volunteered to help on the trip. And that was 8 more than we had been hoping for. And we were just absolutely thrilled. It was a really touching moment for me, a really special moment to know that all of these parents were really truly invested in this, and were willing to give up their time and their income for a day to make sure that their children were going to get dental checkups. That was really incredible. And it was really only a few more weeks after that I came back from Uganda, that my trip ended. I was really sad to go, but I knew really almost from the beginning of my trip that I wanted to continue to be involved in Clover and be a part of the work that they do. And so I was really excited a few months, really only a few weeks after I got back, when they asked me to join the board. And that was about a year ago. And around that time that I joined, I really had to think about what I wanted my efforts to focus on, what I wanted my focus to be on the board, what role that I want to play. And I decided that I wanted to focus on the sponsorship program. The sponsorship program was launched while I was in Uganda, and truly it gives donors an opportunity to get to know one child and their family through periodic updates and pictures and drawings, and sometimes even Skype videos with the child. It costs $500 a year to support a child at the Clover School. That includes 2 meals a day. It includes contributes to the salaries of the teachers that work at the school. It contributes to the medical costs, both preventative and emergency medical costs of children should they arise, and it contributes to all the costs that go into the supplies for the children in the classroom. That's really what it costs to support a child for a year, and it's what we ask donors to help contribute. To support a child that has graduated from the Clover preschool and is now in primary school, where Clover is supporting them in a local primary school in the community, costs $800. That includes the tuition and school fees of that child, and it also helps support the meals that they get in school every day and their medical costs as well. I think that while the money that donors give to support Clover and the children at the school is so important, and that the contribution from sponsors is what makes Clover able to do all of this work, more largely sponsorship provides hope and support for the child and their family. The Clover families, the families that Clover serves, the parents, are fighting on a daily basis to feed their children. to keep their jobs, which are often very transient. They're fighting to make sure their children have a place to sleep, make sure their children have a future. They work so hard every day to ensure they are providing for their family. And for them to know that there's another person in this fight with them, helping to support their child, I just think that's so incredible. And such a weight to be lifted off their shoulders, to know that there is another person, another family, another parent that wants their child to succeed, that thinks their child is important, that is invested in their child's success, is such an incredible gift and is such an incredible relationship to create with another family. I remember our first child that was sponsored while I was still in Uganda. Her name is Jamira, and she was 4 years old at the time. Her U.S. sponsor, a family with 2 young kids as well, had emailed me a letter and a few pictures of their family. And I had invited Jamira and her family to come take a look at the pictures, and for Mary, one of our teachers, to translate the letter for them into Luganda. And the whole experience was truly touching. But at the end, I had shown them the pictures that have been sent from the sponsor, and also the photo that of Jamira that I was going to send to them. And it was a really nice picture taken by Zara, who's a professional photographer. And all the pictures were on my computer. I was showing them on my computer. And her mother asked me if I could print the picture for her. And I assumed that she meant the picture of her daughter. And I told her, of course, I'll find a place where I can print this picture of Jamira for you, and I'll make sure that you get it. And she corrected me, and she said that she would love the picture of Jamira, but that she also really wanted the photos of the family, of the U.S. family that was sponsoring Jamira. And she said, and I remember this, that she wanted a picture of her new friends from the U.S., that she wanted a picture of the people who wanted to help Jamira succeed. And that really touched me. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to focus my work on the U.S. board, on the sponsorship program. At present, we have about half of our 48 students sponsored, and we're well on our way to our goal of having all of our children sponsored. You can learn more about sponsoring a Clover child on our website, clover-foundation.org. And there you can also find my email address if you're interested in learning more about sponsorship, or if you have any questions for me. Thank you so much for listening. And as we like to say at Clover, from happy children springs a better world. Thank you.